In this episode, an exploding toilet and a man jumping into a Bass Pro Shop naked. What could we ask for?
And on the flip side, we give our pitch to host the Golden Globes. Is the Stanley Cup the most indestructible object in the world? And you better not still be saying Happy New Year. Mike, hit the music. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Hope you're having a great day. And if you're listening to this, yes, this is already a better opening than the monologue of the Golden Globes. It is universally known. So hope you're all having a great time, having a great day. I'm doing well. Mike, how are you? How are things?
I'm feeling quite hot right now. Let me tell you, this was recommended that I wear these for the podcast because we were at a Christmas party last weekend. Shout out to Jenna's family. And we got these sparkling glasses. And sorry for those who are listening, you're missing out on an experience. But I'm feeling flashy. I'm feeling stylish. I'm ready to have another podcast with you.
You know what? This is a weird... you know what it reminded me of right now?
What?
The principal from South Park, like the really big buff guy.
Oh, yeah.
When he wears the sunglasses. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know why. That was a smooth transition, by the way, when I said, how are you, how are things? That was pretty hot. I'm holding it on. It
was, gives me three different options. It gives a strobe, which, let me tell you, if I didn't have these lights not the lights that are directing towards me, so I'm properly exposed. You could get quite a little bit of epilepsy if you have these turned on, if you have on the epilepsy mode. But then there's a slow blink, and then there's obviously the constant, which I have on right now. But we're going to try. We're going to see how this works out. I do have to read articles today, but we're going to see how this works out.
Yeah, just careful what light you have on, just so what's exposed.
What?
We'll always want to expose everything.
Yes.
Penis.
I don't ever want to expose everything, Matt.
Yes, your penis.
Wow. Just getting right to it. Well, speaking of exposing peni, we got quite an article for you today. You thought maybe the first couple weeks of 2024 could be calm, could be chill, could be relaxed. Based on what we have found in the Associated Press, let me tell you, things are picking back up like they were in 2023. Matt, have you ever been to a Bass Pro Shop before?
Good question. No, I have been to rival Cabela's.
Cabela's.
I've never been inside a Bass Pro Shop.
All right. Well, Matt, easy for those who have either been to a Bass Pro Shop or a Cabela's. They certainly like to have things or, let's just say, animals on display, which includes water. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Right. So you would think like they monitor it, making sure nobody jumps in.
Yep.
Nobody makes a fool of themselves.
Yeah. Making sure no one harms anything in there.
Right.
No.
So we're going to jump to Leeds, Alabama, where this exactly went in the opposite direction. We have a 42-year-old man who crashed his car outside of Bass Pro Shop. Not saying how or why he did that, but we're going to run with it. You would think this man is going to get out. He's going to check the situation to make sure everything is hunky-dory. Wrong. This man decides to strip naked and jump into a large aquarium display inside the store. Matt, better yet, like every childhood dream, he did a cannonball and leapt into the aquarium in full view of shocked customers, naked and all.
He was not naked and afraid. Quite opposite. Quite the opposite of naked and afraid.
The man swam under a waterfall for several minutes before the police arrived. So I think he was trying to play a little peekaboo. The man yelled at them when the police arrived. So the man yelled at the police when they arrived, but continued swimming in the aquarium naked. So he wasn't getting out. It's like that one meme or video that you see on the internet. And it's like, get out of the tank. You're not the boss of me. Get out of the tank. No, you're not. Get out of the tank. No, you're not. He eventually climbed out of the aquarium and fell on the floor. Now, Matt, I'm sure as you are very well aware with some of these aquariums, there is a certain height when it comes to the size of these aquariums. So think about it. He just did not leap out and was just on the floor. No, he jumped out of the aquarium, which if we're give or take, it's probably 10 feet high, give or take. Definitely fell on the floor, was hurt, I could assume. And then the man now is facing charges of public lewdness, disorderly conduct, and criminal mischief for his actions in the store.
Yeah, so obviously I don't condone anything that guy did. Oh, the sunglasses are off.
Yeah, the sunglasses are off. I couldn't do that.
All right. You have a headache now?
I was contractually obligated to put them on for the first 5 minutes. So
okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, I don't condone anything this guy did. Obviously, public nudity not okay. Exposing yourself to a bunch of strangers at Bass Pro Shop definitely not okay. It's kind of cool though. Not the naked. Aside from the naked part, this is like every guy wants to do this.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to? Like, it's your first of all, we have to understand is the aquarium hot or cold? Or medium.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, because when he was being taken out in handcuffs, very not flattering photo for the guy.
Right.
So I'm going to assume the water was cold.
Very cold.
Yeah, extremely cold, like Antarctica.
Yep.
Cold.
People couldn't even tell he was a man.
Yep. However, this is a thrill that like every guy. Obviously, no one's going to do it. Maybe this will become a trend. People jumping into pools, Bass Pro Shops. We're telling you right now, don't do that. You're going to get arrested. We don't condone that.
Right.
But wouldn't it just be cool to just be like be in the thick of it, like swimming in a Bass Pro Shop? Like you're one of the exhibits, and I don't know why that's cool. I don't know. It's just a cool thing. Like you want to jump over the fence. You want to be free. It's like you tell us not to do something, you got to want to do it.
You think of those like dioramas or those like, and not those simulations, but kind of those spaces that like are just meant to be viewed. They're not meant to be climbed on or swam through. I was recently watching a video of the Try Guys that they visited Legoland. And there was just this whole display of Lego buildings and like what man or woman would not want to walk through that town as if they were Godzilla or Goddess Zilla, if that is the female version of Godzilla. Like you're tempting us. That's exactly what the point is. Now, speculation here. We're not sure if this man was under the influence, whether that was drugs or alcohol. Matt, how many beers? I would say maybe like 10. For this to happen.
That's tough. Yeah, 10 to 12, maybe half a case.
So 15, like if it's a 30 pack?
Yeah, if it's a 30 pack, 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that comes to my mind is like shooting hoops at Walmart. You walk through the basketball section. Like even though they have like a little plastic thing on the rim, you can't actually shoot or like dunk. That's always just like, you'd love to do it. Like just dunk in the middle of Walmart.
You know those racetracks that are at those like mini amusement parks, like kind of those ones that they like rev you up in the back and then like they're trying to race. Like, could you imagine like going off track, like racing in the amusement park?
Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah, this is just obviously you don't know what the guy was on, but a once in a lifetime experience, and he's probably going to pay for it by going to jail. What do you think if you're like walking through Bass Pro Shop and you see this guy? What are you doing? Are you sticking around? Like, there's 3 options. Option 1, do you get a front row seat? Videotape it. Option 2, videotape from afar to see how it plays out. Or option C, get the heck out of there. I think I'm going to option 2 because I don't want to get too close. Not that, there's anything to see spectacular. But if you don't know what the guy's going to do if he's on drugs.
I would say if it was the two of us, like let's just say you and I were just picking up some tackles or fishing line. Or whatever Bass Pro Shop. I guess it's very comparable to Cabela's. So
yeah,
all this stuff in between, guns, boots, clothes. I feel like we'd watch from afar. We wouldn't videotape it. I feel like we'd watch from afar.
Oh, we'd absolutely watch. Yeah, it'd be great. That actually, they should have like a little cooler in the back of Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's that like, if something happens or like this happens again, they quick like come out and like sell a can of beer for like $10. And you can buy a lawn chair, just set it up in the back of the store, just crack it open, and just like watch it play out.
Matt, I'm assuming you saw this news on X or Twitter. I'm assuming.
I've heard some people talk about it. Yeah, it's making national headlines.
Yeah, we're gonna move on over to, I would say both our favorite coffee shops, but at the same time, I feel like I can't recall. I think it's been 3 to 4 months since I've been at one of these places. A coffee shop known as Where America is Running on Duncan. Matt, we're going to fly all the way east, if I know my geography, to Florida. Winter Park is the town in which we'll be heading towards. Don't you feel like you kind of judge places based on their bathroom?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also, sometimes you walk into a place, you have a vibe of what the bathroom already looks like.
Mm-hmm. A customer in Florida has filed a negligence lawsuit against Dunkin' Donuts. You may think to yourself, did he spill? There was a story, actually, that I saw that I think McDonald's was sued for
hot coffee.
The hot coffee.
Yeah, that guy, or I think it was a woman. I think he or she made like $1 million in that lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now that's why McDonald's coffee cups say contents may be hot. So little tidbit for you if you're driving on to work. Be like, hey, hear about the lawsuit from McDonald's? So you may think to yourself, maybe it's the hot coffee. We've been seeing that people have been filing lawsuits against candy companies because the candy doesn't look exactly like the thing when you open it up on the piece of paper, the picture of it. No, we're gonna go right to the toilet. He claims he was injured when a toilet exploded at the Dunkin'. The explosion left the customers covered in, you guessed it, human feces, urine, and debris. When he asked for help from employees, one of them said they were aware of, quote, problems with the toilet and previous incidents. The lawsuit says the customer suffered bodily injury and has required mental health care and counseling since the incident. He is seeking over $100,000 in damages from Dunkin'.
Oh, that's only 100,000. Seems low. I mean, the man was literally covered in feces and urine from being at a gas station or at a bathroom at a Dunkin'. That's criminally low.
Gas station. You immediately you went there.
Yes. Well, as it could have been a gas station. We don't know. Many Dunkins are at gas stations, which we've said on a previous episode. Gas station Dunkins are better than standalone Dunkin'. Yeah, 100,000. That's way too low. But on the flip side, if you go to the bathroom at a coffee shop, especially a Dunkin', you gotta expect it's at least a little less quality just because of what coffee does to people.
So now you're not judging the toilet, you're now judging the stuff that goes in it.
Well, no, I'm judging the toilet, but like if you, let's be honest, when we drink coffee, we shit, it happens, right? So if I go to the bathroom, let me ask you this question. Who do you think has a cleaner bathroom? Five Guys or Taco Bell?
I've never been in a Taco Bell. I've been in a Five Guys. So based on the preconceived notion of what Taco Bell does to your body, I'm going to go with Five Guys.
So if everybody knows that coffee makes you go to the bathroom, their bathrooms can't be that great. However, no toilet should explode, which is why $100,000. If my toilet explodes in my apartment, I'm going to try to get more than $100,000. Like that's not exploding. Toilets don't come with a label that said could explode.
Contents can be explosive.
Yeah, well, you're right. My toilet's not blowing up into pieces.
I think you also have to assume that there is a little bit of embarrassment that is behind this too, because getting covered in such waste, you know, you feel like you're coming out of the bathroom and you're telling an employee being like, that toilet just exploded. And we all know we've been in those establishments before. It typically is busy. You know, you have the in and outs, the to-go orders, the drive-through, depending on what the scenario was. I feel like it could get really embarrassing just simply because you're covered in feces. And, you know, no one wants that. No one wants that on did they say a specific day? No one wants that on like a Sunday afternoon when they're picking up their cup of joe. Yeah,
I think if I had a toilet explode and I was covered in feces, I don't think I would come out. I would just climb out the window, well, there's probably not a window in there. But I would also be embarrassed to step out just because you are covered in human shit, pee, and all that fun stuff. I also wonder, like, did the workers just stop taking orders? Or was it like, hi, welcome, Dunkin', how can I help you? Bam! What was that? Nothing. Can I have a large mocha, extra cream and sugar? Like, did they just stop serving coffee for the rest of the day?
So, Matt, would you go back if this happened to you at this particular Dunkin'?
Yeah, I'm just not going to use the bathroom. Have you ever used a bathroom at a Dunkin'?
Yes.
I have. I can't recall if I ever have.
My favorite, so this was when we were going on a beach trip over the weekend, and I really needed to use the bathroom, so I saw the Dunkin' and I walked in, and the door had a keypad on it, and I thought to myself, oh, I have to like order something to get access to it, and I was about to walk out, and all of a sudden the guy looks at me and he goes, 732, and I'm like, me? I was like, I didn't order anything. He goes, No, that's the code to the keypad. I was thinking it was a Dunkin' order in my head.
They had a keypad to get into their bathroom?
Mm-hmm. Think about it, Matt. Like, they don't want it to be this rotational toilet that people just come in and out of and not order anything.
Well, that was going to be my next thought. I don't think I'd want to use a Dunkin' bathroom unless it's like the absolute necessity. I don't know if I would really want to use a Dunkin' bathroom. I think that I've come to a low part in my life if I'm like, you know what, I'm going to use this Dunkin' bathroom. I don't know. I get a weird vibe from that.
I would say if it was a number 2, anytime you go number 2, you feel a little uncomfortable regardless where you go.
Correct. Yeah.
Unless you're on your own toilet at home.
Yep.
Or if you're at a place that you frequent a lot, such as work.
Yeah.
You know, the best place to take a poop at work.
Top 3 places to take a poop. Number 1, in your own home.
Yes.
Number 2, at work. Number 3, I guess this one's up for debate, parents' house.
I would still consider that home. I have a nice little time on the loo.
Fine, your best friend's house, number 3.
Didn't know we turned this crap into a segment here, but anyway. Do you think he's going to win this lawsuit?
I hope so. I mean, the damn toilet exploded.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll see this on like TikTok of like the lawyer reacts and see what his final verdict is. But as always, even though we've had 0% follow up with any of the stories we mentioned on this Funny Business podcast, if there's an update, we will let you know.
We wanted to share something that has become essential to those days after a long, exhausting night: Liquid IV's Hydration Multiplier.
It's amazing how huge a difference it makes. Liquid IV helps us feel more energized and refreshed throughout the day. With one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and a 2 times faster hydration formula than plain water.
We both love the flavors. Yuzu pineapple and passion fruit are our top picks. They make staying hydrated a truly enjoyable experience.
What's even better is that Liquid IV is committed to giving back to communities in need worldwide by providing clean and abundant water. They've already donated over 39 servings in 50 plus countries around the world.
And we have a special treat if you want to try Liquid IV. Head over to liquidiv.com and use the code FUNNYBUSINESS at checkout to get a 20% discount on your entire purchase.
So shop better hydration today with promo code FUNNYBUSINESS. All one word, FUNNYBUSINESS at liquidiv.com at checkout.
Remember to stay hydrated and healthy and give Liquid IV a try. It's worth it. And we will move right on to the second half of the show with a little Say What. Mike, I'm going to go first if you don't mind.
Okay. All right. Yeah, whatever.
What was that supposed to mean?
No. I'm kidding.
All right, so my first one, I mentioned it kind of to start the show. Like, the Golden Globes were this past weekend.
Yes.
Or if you're listening to this on Monday, Tuesday, a couple weekends ago. The Golden Globes were just weird.
Globes?
I don't know what the hell I just said. Golden Globes, they're just weird. One, the host was just weird, not super funny. Jokes weren't great. He tried making a Taylor Swift joke. Did you hear his Taylor Swift joke?
I just heard it before I got on the show.
Yeah, did not get a good reaction, especially from Taylor. But the problem that I have with the Golden Globes is, one, I don't know any of the movies or TV shows. Barbie and Oppenheimer were nominated a lot, but in almost every category, because April and I watched a little bit of it, and I was like, don't know that movie, don't know that movie, don't know that movie, don't know that show. And I know it's like a different kind of award show, and it's more like global than just like the United States. I don't know. It's just a weird vibe, and I feel like every year people just complain about it, and I don't understand why. Well, I do, but I don't.
I found the name of the host of the Golden Globes. His name is Joe Coy.
Yes, that's right.
But originally I Googled bok choy, and that is not correct. Bok choy is a type of Chinese cabbage used as food. The Golden Globes serve as kind of a kickoff to the awards season. So like, you're not going to have those monumental moments like the Emmys or I'm thinking the Grammys or the Oscars.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of EGOT. You're not going to have those momentous moments or those popular movies. Now, will we see Barbie probably get an Oscar? Maybe. We don't know. Or maybe a Grammy. But I think these Golden Globes are they're tough because it's the first kickoff to the year. I will say some of the memes that come out of it, there's obviously something going on with Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift right now with Timothée Chalamet. Did you hear about that? Yeah, we turned into a drama podcast.
Oh,
so
spill the tea, sis.
Apparently there was this video clip of Selena Gomez whispering to Taylor Swift's ear. Did you see that clip?
I did see that clip. Okay. Yeah.
So it was under the context. I can't believe I'm reporting this because I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. So as we all know, Timothée Chalamet is in some cahoots or dating Kylie Jenner.
Correct. They kissed at the Golden Globes.
Okay. So Selena Gomez, who I think very nice. I think Selena Gomez was kind of in that realm of like she was never like a mean person. Like she's nice in reality.
She seems very down to earth and is also dating or rumored to be dating Benny Blanco. Is that the correct name? Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, we're turning into TMZ right away. That
E-News is going to be calling us in any minute.
Yep. Yeah. So Selena's a nice person. Selena, if you're welcome to come on the show anytime. She whispered that she wanted to try to take a picture with Timothée, and Kylie pulled away from her.
Oh.
Yeah, the tea, sis.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, right?
Listen, you can't come at T Swift and Selena Gomez. That's not going to end well for you. For anybody. Doesn't matter who you are.
But I think, again, it's really hard for the Golden Globes to like have its own standing, to say like its own lead compared to like a Grammy or an Oscar, because start of the year, start of the award season. I will say I really liked Brie Larson and Jennifer Lopez. I almost said Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lopez's exchange of like Brie Larson always wanted to be an actress because she watched Jennifer Lopez and they had a nice exchange and it was really cute. So,
do you think it's too early for the award show? I think maybe it's just like the time of the year.
I think each awards show has its place.
Yeah. I feel like if it's in like 2 weeks, then it's like, yeah, okay, now I can get into it.
Mm-hmm.
For the Golden Globes, like they never had like a Will Smith moment. The Oscars. They never like each award show has kind of like a moment. Like Grammys has performances. Oscar obviously had Will Smith last year. They got a lot of buzz. Golden Globes, it's like, all right, well, and also, did you know who Joe Coy?
Oh, not Bok Choy. Joe Coy.
Joe Coy. Did you know who he was?
No.
So I think next year, if we're really pitching the Golden Globes to the producers and to NBC Studios, need an A+ name to host. Need it.
Or is this the opportunity to bring in newer superstars to the fold? Like, again, is this like it's your kickoff? So it's like you can't bring in like Matthew McConaughey or Leonardo DiCaprio as a host. Like you have to bring in middle level or rising star to this to host.
Yeah. Or like co-host, two guys familiar with each other.
Yep.
Maybe they have a podcast together. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it for a long time. Really,
best friends from college.
Best friends for life. Roommates for life. They're good at what they do.
Yep.
Handsome guys. People would be encouraged or be teased to tune in to the Golden Globes. Just a thought. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think not to give them a shout out, but I think their podcast starts with the letter F and it ends in unny business. So yeah. I'm not sure.
Who knows? I mean, you'd have to reach out to those guys. So we're not making that statement right now.
No, we're not trying to cause any rift between them. So
no.
Well, it's a little late, Matt. I feel like we haven't done a Say What in a very, very long time.
We have not.
So I was watching Squid Game's The Challenge, little throwback, and there was a part I will not give too much away if people are still interested in watching it, but there was a moment where there was a Jack in a Box incorporated into part of the show, and the song or the jingle "Pop Goes the Weasel" was playing as somebody was cranking the Jack in a Box. Do you ever realize that Pop Goes the Weasel is scary as an adult, but fun as a kid?
No. Can you explain?
So like when you hear it being played, it's more dramatic when you hear it as an adult. So like in this instance, they used it as a very dramatic, suspenseful way of delivering said action objective item. Again, trying not to spoil too much. But as a kid, it was like dun, 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 dun. Like it's kind of like fun, uplifting, bright. Whereas like adults, like you see in like horror movies, like dun, 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 dun. Do you like that?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, you have a point. I mean, it's even throw it back to Elf when he's in the toy testing. He gets scared by the Jack in the Box. Have you ever played with a Jack in the Box?
Yes.
I don't think I ever did.
You've been very sheltered, my friend.
I have, but did you enjoy it? I don't know. They just seem like, what's the point of it?
It's kind of like sledding. You kind of get old after like the third time that you do it. So
I mean, that's debatable.
sledding on like, let's just say like a hill like mine at my house.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
How much like to do it like 20 times?
Maybe. Well, you gotta think about it. If you're gonna get dressed up to be going to snow, I'm not gonna do it for 5 minutes and then that's it.
But like your only activity is sledding. I would say having a more of a, I know it's totally off topic, but having more of a massive hill to go super fast all the way down. It's kind of like those tubing places that like you go all the way down. Like if it's a short hill like mine, I don't know. I feel like you kind of get tired after a little bit, because not tired in the sense that you're exhausted from the action, but just like it gets boring.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. We got a pretty good hill. We haven't gone sledding yet, but we got a pretty decent hill up by our apartment.
Do you have a sled?
No, that's the other issue, is I need a sled to go sledding.
Time to pull out the cafeteria trays.
What did you guys have like actual sleds as kids?
Yeah, and snowboards.
You were a snowboarder?
I was not on the slopes. I was in my backyard doing snowboarding.
That's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, we had the nice, my favorite thing of all time. My dad would hook up the sled to the back of the four-wheeler, and he would go driving, and of course he would pull the sled behind. And it was an ab work. Like, I wish I could do that now, because that's one hell of an ab workout, but it was always funny trying to stay balanced, all of those things. It was very fun. It was very fun. And shout out to my dad for that.
All right, for my last one, I don't want to say this one's like controversial, because I think everybody can agree to it. Maybe a touchy subject. People just need to stop using 9/11 as a reference to things. So we had two instances, and I'll kind of briefly touch on them. A couple months ago, early December, Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott, he was trying to give a pep talk to his team, and in an attempt to emphasize the importance of togetherness, he cited the 9/11 hijackers and saying that they had to be on the same page about everything to execute their plan that day.
What?
Yeah, this got leaked into the media, and everyone's like, "What the hell? Like, that's awful." He did have to apologize. Clearly, it's just not something to talk about or to praise. And then, if you thought it couldn't get worse than that, you have New York City Mayor Eric Adams. So he was doing an interview, and this was before the new year, and someone asked him if he could put 2023 into one word.
Okay.
And his word was New York. So automatically wrong and incorrect. And then he went to go on and say, New York is a great place where, quote, you can experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center to a person who's celebrating a new business. It's the greatest city on the globe. If I'm going to, talk about a place and really try to talk it up, probably the biggest tragedy that ever happened to the city is never going to come out of my mouth. Nope. And I think an event such, it's as touchy and sensitive as 9/11, because obviously many people lost their lives, and it was one of the worst things to happen to this country ever. Maybe just don't talk about it as a reference, and just talk about it as a history moment.
Right. What is sad, and I think this is where the correlation is connected to, it's sad to see people who are definitely older than us. To give everybody context with, and keeping it brief, because obviously lighthearted podcast, we want to try to be lighthearted here. Matt and I were in kindergarten when that happened. So we lived through all that chaos. Not saying we lived in New York, but the time that the announcement came on in the school, or the time that they rolled up the TV on the little rack that's with a bungee cord, they rolled it up in school just so everybody can just see this teachable moment of history. I mean, my mom kept me home when that happened, but you're now starting to see it too with memes. And it's simply because these kids were not born during the time that it occurred. they never were put in the face of fear when America was under attack. And it's just so sad that older people, and I'm not saying like the older generation, but people that are older than us are still making these references where it's like a lot of people died that day. And not even New York, but DC as well. And even the field that's out in Western Pennsylvania that, the people sacrificed their lives for it. But that's dumb. Sorry.
You just got to know better.
Right. Read the room.
And also, the bear in New York City was asked to give a one-word answer, and he said New York.
New York.
That's red flag right there.
Speaking of people speaking out of context, my last one for today. Matt, have you been on LinkedIn lately?
Not a ton.
All right. Let me rephrase this question here.
I'm going to open
Matt,
it right now.
Have you seen the viral sensation that Stanley, the cup,
The Stanley Cup?
Stanley Cup, not the cup for hockey, but the Stanley Cup that
you hold with a straw and drink coffee out of? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen anything on LinkedIn lately?
No, I can't say I have.
What happened was that a individual's car caught on fire on the side of the road, went to go pick up kind of salvage some of their belongings, their materials. Lady found out that her Stanley Cup survived the car fire. The ice was still cold in the Stanley Cup.
Damn.
She shook it so what happened was the video went viral on TikTok. Stanley, the CEO, actually bought her a new car because of this whole incident and talking about the viral sensation that it is. Matt, what has been more upsetting? There are a lot of thought leaders, and I put thought leaders in big fat quotation marks, and they like to write, this Stanley Cup is teaching us $1 million lesson. Sometimes you don't need a new product, you just need a new audience. Stanley is a 110-year-old company. In 2019, they had 73. Okay, Matt's shaking his head. You've seen this.
I have. Now that you're bringing this up, yes, I did see that article.
This has been a copy and paste fiasco. Nobody is writing original content. I have seen this $1 million lesson 20 times from 20 different people. It is not original anymore. The poor person who wrote it in the first place, I feel so bad because they put all this thought and effort into creating this. But these people have copied and pasted it, put it on their own personal LinkedIn. All you just see is the $1 million lesson, and there's 7 different posts. It's kind of like when that whole viral swimsuit, that red swimsuit of the female that was sitting poolside, I forget the name of the company, but was sitting poolside, and it's if you post this, you have a chance to win something huge. Kind of reminds me of that. But nobody is authentic anymore. Nobody's original. And like I said, that is my prediction for social media this year is authentic, original content is going to make track for 2024.
Yeah, LinkedIn's the worst for copying stuff too. And LinkedIn influencers are just on a whole nother level. They could be I woke up today and I decided to get out of bed on the right side instead of the left side. And, if you're stuck in your ways, don't be afraid to change it up. It's you're not, no one cares. You woke up holy crap. Stop copying people's shit. That's the only thing that's kind of cool though. I didn't know that whole marketing thing, how they used to market towards steel workers, and now it's everybody. So That's interesting.
Very bold move by the company. I mean, you got the CEO involved, which, it's not. People realize that, I hope, as we start to approach more into the years of social media becoming an established position and not an emerging position, that the marketing team is behind it or one person is behind it. No one's going to I'm pretty sure Stanley is getting all these messages now of oh, I got into a car accident and my Stanley Cup is still staying with the ice in it. Can I get a new car? It's not to the responsibility of the social media manager. That comes from a C-level suite supervisor, which was the CEO, yes, that came up. But my point here is be careful. We are entering a world now where copyright is just becoming the Wild West. People think that just because you could use that sound on TikTok, you could use it on Instagram, or just because you can hear trendy sounds on Instagram means you can just pull something from iTunes and say, oh yeah, that's mine. No, copyright, please. Oh, especially Steamboat Willie hitting the public domain now. Did you hear about that?
No.
So Steamboat Willie, who was a version of Mickey, was just released in the public domain in 2024.
Yes.
What's been confusing people is the Steamboat Willie version is only available in the public domain, not the current Mickey Mouse.
Right.
So a lot of people have been putting gloves on Steamboat Willie. That is not right. Steamboat Willie doesn't have any gloves.
It was funny seeing, like, I think people from Barstool, like, printed t-shirts immediately with Steamboat Willie. It's like they wasted no time. No time at all.
Nope. I think there's 2 movies that are already coming out of Steamboat Willie in the sense.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. It's
Horror
already
movies.
9 days into 2023, 2024.
Yep.
I don't know what year it is.
Be careful with your originality.
Yeah, but I think it's a good point. And we will finish off the show with Take It. Mike, we are obviously in 2024. How many people did you say Happy New Year to?
I stopped saying Happy New Year this week.
Oh, okay. So Take It this week. When's the last day to say a Happy New Year? So the floor is yours.
So I guess this. Sorry to ruin your.
No, that was a good segue.
It was amazing. So with saying Happy New Year to somebody, originally what I have done is if it is the first time I was reaching out to you, I'd wish you a Happy New Year. So let's just say email communication, like Happy New Year. Or if I see you for the first time, Happy New Year. I had a former boss that'd be like, Happy almost Easter. So I saw this and it's like, when is the appropriate time to stop saying Happy New Year? There are people now. I'm all about the less fluff, the better. Like, let's get to the point of why I'm emailing you. Like, instead of saying, hi, Matt, Happy New Year. I hope this email finds you well. I do not even say I hope this email finds you well because I think it is bullshit. Like, it's like me being well is not good.
I hope this email finds you well. You're not going to like anything else after the sentence.
Really? I mean, and that's 90% of the time. That's where it comes down to is that. And if there's a way where I can cut fluff and not me saying Happy New Year, I will get rid of it. So I only said it the first week I was back from work, which was January 2nd. So it was that first week of the new year. This week, I've stopped using it. And there are people that have said Happy New Year. Now, if they say Happy New Year to me, I will respond to it. But I am not the person to reach out to somebody and say Happy New Year. So 1 week.
So is that just for work or is that outside of work as well? So I think I agree with you. At work, I would even say like the first 2 to 3 days back at work.
Oh, you're going shorter than me.
Yeah, I think it depends. If you're in a big company, maybe I can understand a full week. But like after 2 or 3 days, if you see everybody in the office or like you see most of the people, what's the point? There's no point. Outside of work with like family members and friends, like if you get together with like your aunt and uncle like at the end of the month, do you say Happy New Year? Because it's been a month now. Like we're knee deep into 2024.
I think again, if a family member says Happy New Year to me, I'll respond back. Like I'm not going to be like, the hell, man. Like we're well into 2024. You do not need to say Happy New Year to me. I will be polite and I will respond with a Happy New Year myself. But yeah, I think following with family and friends, like I wouldn't say Happy New Year to. The only time appropriate is when you count down from 60 or in this case from 10 to 1 and you yell Happy New Year to everybody that's in the room. Yeah,
that's obviously the best part. Do you always count down from 10?
Yeah. I mean, I think what is great is there's a lot more, I don't want to say logistics, but there's just a lot more things that like we're just like trying to scramble to do. So one of the things we were trying to scramble with this year was the basement sound system was not working on the TV. So we were trying to jimmy my speaker into connecting it so that way it would play from my speaker. And, we started at like 11 and everybody's like, well, don't rush. I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, we got a whole hour to go. Like, it's fine. And so we got it to work. But then like you're trying to get champagne. And like, if you do that, the cliche New Year's Eve kiss, you're trying to find your lover. And like, there's just all these things that like you're trying to do and rush. So like 10 or below is my take. Like if I'm hitting 7, like I'm happy I'm hitting 7. Like it's not, if I'm hitting 3, I'm getting a little nervous there. So
yeah, I think countdown from 10. I've been to play. I shouldn't say that. I know people that like count down from 60. It's like that is
what?
That is just way too long. Way too long.
What people do you hang out with that count from 60?
I don't hang out with them. I
Call 'em out.
no, I don't hang
Matt.
out with them. I just know they count down from 60. Yeah, I think a week is probably the max for saying Happy New Year. Also, don't just go saying Happy New Year to random people. If you are like getting your Dunkin' at the drive-thru and it's like January 5th and it's your first time at Dunkin' that year, you don't have to say Happy New Year, because guess what? They don't give a shit at all.
Unless it's like Barb.
Well, if it's someone you know, but if
Right.
it's just like, if you think you go to like a restaurant often or like a drive-through place and you think they know you, guess what? They probably don't.
No.
Don't say Happy New Year to them.
Right.
Don't be that guy or girl.
Right. Yeah, I think well into the corporate world, man. It's silly. Like, again, I try to find many ways to stop fluffing. So anytime it's like, I hope it's well, like, or I hope you're doing well, or like, how was your weekend? Like, you're receiving this email because I'm asking you a question.
I'll say I hope you had a good weekend, just to throw it in there, just to show like, it's not like a fake care, but I just, if I throw it in there, I generally hope you had a good weekend. But in total, yeah, I don't put a whole lot of fluff. It's just short and sweet to the point.
Now, if you schedule a meeting with me and then I'll have some ease in conversation. Like, I'm not going to be like all business, but I'm not going to say, all right, let's get down to business. Like, I'll be like, oh, like anything fun coming up this weekend, or like, how's your week? Like, ease into it. But I don't know. I don't want things to get lost in translation of fluff. Like, it's so odd how interesting it is to learn about like the psychologies and like the hacks of writing an email. I purposefully, any way that I could put the thing I'm asking, I put it in the first sentence of the email. Like, if there is a way that I can do that and then put the rest of the information, that's fine by me. But Happy New Year, I hope this email finds you well, is ruining my first 5 seconds of attention that the person needs to get when I'm emailing them.
Yeah, also when everyone's like, it's a fresh start to like really get back into the thick of it, it's like, we're doing the same stuff we were doing last week. The calendar has changed. I understand like making New Year's resolutions and all that stuff, but like just because we go from December 31st to January 1st does not mean your mindset has to change like in the snap of a finger. Like it's the same job, the same stuff you're doing. You just got to get through it. And also, half the world didn't work that week before Christmas and New Year's. A quarter of them did, and the other quarter went to work and didn't do anything. So we're all trying to catch up from the last like week and a half of not working.
I will say, I don't mind like setting new expectations. Like, if you're trying to find a way for your boss, or you're trying to find a way for your employees to motivate in a new direction. Because I think society puts it on you. It's like New Year, new me, or like New Year's resolutions and all that good stuff. Like, it's not a bad idea to take advantage of that and like maybe pull something a little bit more motivating for the coming year of, we want to pull in the curtain a little bit. We want to talk about goals to support our department this year. Like, talk about it from a calendar year perspective than a fiscal year perspective. I don't know. I think Happy New Year, it's kind of like, when do you start saying Happy Holidays?
Yeah, it's kind of similar. I guess it's people have different beliefs on when the holiday season starts. Also, it's also weird with businesses because not everybody's fiscal year is January to December.
Yep.
A lot of people's is like October, November, like July to June. So it's like, why don't you do New Year stuff then? Because that technically is the business New Year.
Right. And then some people don't have those mindsets.
Yeah. Like my job personally, like it's not broken down into the quarters, or it's not a huge impact. So that stuff's never really resonated with me.
Yeah. My body's all fiscal year at the moment, but any opportunity that you can, if it's calendar year, let's make a calendar year. Lovely, Matt. Happy New Year.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I don't want you
to
Matt. Do more. I don't want to put more editing on you.
Say it, Matt.
Say it. Go f yourself, San Diego.
Great Odin's Raven. That's a little spicy today.
I do feel spicy today.
Speaking of spice, guess what, Matt? We created an OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. We did not do that.
No, absolutely not.
We did not. We do not have an OnlyFans account. Mr. Matthew.
Yes.
What is your advice for the good people of the funny business world?
It is the new year, obviously.
Happy New Year.
Yep. You balance in a lot of things right now outside of work, personal stuff, at work stuff. I know I've been really struggling trying to balance it all and trying to remember what I have to do when and where stuff is and all that. It's just more of a shout out. This is kind of April's advice because this is advice that April kind of gave me. So shout out April. But just do one thing at a time. Focus on one thing. Get one thing done. Move on to the next. You can't do it all at once. Can't balance everything at once. It's a bit of a struggle, but pick one thing, focus on it, get it done, crossed off the list, on to the next one.
One foot in front of the other.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
One step at a time.
I was thinking the opposite from Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Put one foot in front of the other.
Nah.
And soon you'll be walking out the door.
One step at a time, baby. Jordan Sparks. It's all good. All good in the hood, in the podcasting world, and funny business.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you all so much for tuning in, listening, or watching. And until the next episode, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.